The next session is called Environmental Footprints and Fiber Products Life Cycle, and this session will be chaired by my dear colleague, Ms. Helena Wessman. This is a topic that will only grow in importance in the coming years. We are talking about these topics both in public and every company for sure is making their own footprint strategy, if I may use this kind of a horrible term. I may, because Helena is so far from me at the moment. Couple of words about Helena. Helena works as a senior scientist at VTT, and she has worked with forest industry value chains and their sustainability issues for over 25 years. At the moment, she is coordinating the development project on environmental indicators in Forest Cluster's F-Fiber program, and her special expertise is water footprint. So please, Helena, floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Esa. And hello, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to the world of sustainability. I'm going to tell you and give you an overview about sustainability assessment, and also at the same time how VTT is working on that field. Well, when we are thinking about sustainability, it's good to realize it consists of three elements: environment, and economic and social issues. But in practice, however, most of the methods are focused on environmental sustainability. Here we have some examples where VTT is working in this field. Depending, of course, the needs of the project or the needs of the customer, we are doing a sustainability assessment in a wider sense, which includes the environmental and social and economic perspectives. But mostly and quite commonly used is to make life cycle assessment for a product. That means that we are making calculations for the whole product value chain with the energy production, emissions and raw material use and material use and so on. And in life cycle assessment calculations, you can find hotspots, we call them. So certain phases in the life cycle where there is perhaps special emissions or quite lots of energy used, or maybe possibilities to reuse the end product. Critical review can be made to an LCA calculation. That means that third party will evaluate your LCA calculation to see if it fits and goes to the procedure based on by ISO standard, because LCA is a standardized method. Sustainability indicators, they are important because those are the indicators that companies are using for environmental communication. So it is important that sustainability indicators, they are science-based and also they are sector-specific. It's totally different indicators for the forest industry, for instance, than the mining industry. So therefore, we are helping the companies to find the suitable communication tools for sustainability in this field. One indicator here is eco-efficiency, and that is something which links together environmental and economic indicators. So that is a kind of a more from less indicator. And for my thinking, I think this would be something that maybe the company should use more, because that really tells you how to produce less emissions or use less raw materials with more benefits and more economic value. Then we have those footprints. They are very popular at the moment. Carbon footprint is quite many years now been going on, and the new one is the water footprint. They are both almost. Carbon footprint will be standardized this year, and water footprint standardization started a year ago. So it takes approximately 3 years or 2 years now from now when the standard hopefully will be ready. We have KCL Eco LCA software which we are using to make these calculations, and that has been developed quite a long time ago by the industry. So it's for industrial purposes. It can be used for all industry, and it's also used in worldwide, and we use it in our calculations. Eco-design has been mentioned today earlier, so that means that you are finding a sustainable way already in the product designing phase. So it's earlier. It's a design tool for a designer to make sustainable products. That is, I know that in eco-design it has got many ways to calculate and what is the meaning of eco-design, but that is how I understand it. Environmental product declarations is larger, in a way, a large eco-label, which we are working with, and also we are doing environmental reporting for the companies. Then we can calculate called kind of partial LCAs, material flow analysis or energy flow analysis. Like I mentioned, the value chain is important to know in these calculations. So sustainability methodologies are always based on life cycle approach. Here we have an example of a fiber-based product. It begins from the resource phase, which is the forest. You have fiber flows leading to pulp mill, but also to other purposes like bioenergy, and for instance to sawmill as well. From pulp mill, the fiber product goes to paper mill, and then we need probably some transporting to the converting phase, and then we have the end user phase, the man who is reading the newspaper. And depending on how educated the man is, then the newspaper will be recycled, and so it goes again to the raw material phase, or it might be incinerated when it produces energy, or then the worst case is it goes to the landfill to waste disposal. So this is a life cycle approach. If you are making this sustainability, you have to know your value chain and the processes during the value chain. What are the inputs like energy, chemicals, pigments, materials in the process, and outputs like products, co-products, emissions to air and water and solid waste. So that is needed in LCA. But LCA can be applied into many contexts: in decision making, in product and technology benchmarking, in optimizing logistics, for instance, educational purposes inside the company, different marketing, communication, and eco-labeling, and those footprint analyses. Carbon footprint is the amount of greenhouse gases, so not only CO2, carbon dioxide, but all greenhouse gases which are produced during the product's value chain. And this is done for different type of industry, and we have been working with the standardization process, so it has been a benefit because carbon footprint and all other LCA-based methodologies need knowledge about allocation and such. In this pie figure, you can see that most of the carbon footprint CO2 equivalent emissions, they come from the energy production, which is quite common, but of course it depends on the product and the value chain. But in this case, it's the energy production, and then part comes from raw material supply, end of life, which is usually methane, and the transport phase, the fuel use causes greenhouse gas emissions. Then you have water footprint, which is the newest footprint. It is a LCA-based tool, and it is unlike carbon footprint, it is a local indicator. So in that sense, it brings benefits to countries where there is abundance of water, like Finland, Nordic countries. You can see below left the map where dark blue countries are those who have got lots of water, and the yellow and red ones suffer from some kind of water scarcity. But the methodology is still at the research phase, so the development is going on, and now standardization is going on, and I hope that within a few years we have a good methodology which takes account the local issues, volumes, and also quality of water. On the right-hand side, below, there's a rough picture about if you want to collect data for water footprint of your process, what type of unit processes you need. So like those like water discharge, evaporation, cooling waters and such, which are not normally perhaps in normal LCA parameters. And then eco-efficiency. Like I mentioned, it can be said that it means creating more value from less raw materials or energy with less impacts. So that is something I would see it has got importance in the future as an indicator. There are different indicators that exist, very general level indicators. For instance, World Business Council for Sustainable Development has been developed some company examples for the indicators, but I think that this kind of eco-efficiency indicator should be at least sector-specific or company-specific. Eco-efficiency shares many important principles with LCA, like life cycle perspective and transparency and so on. And it can be done for only resource use or only use efficiency or only some part of the value chain, or combination with them all. So here you can see some customer cases I have been listing here. You can see there are different type of industries which have been recently interested in this sustainability research, from technology industry, from media sector, from forest industry, cosmetics, and here you can see also names where you are allowed to take contact if you want to know more about our work. But of course, I'll be happy to answer your questions as well. Thank you.